If you've ever Googled, how do I get a real estate license in North Carolina, you've probably come across a million checklists. But still, we're left wondering, how does this actually look in my real life? Hi, my name is Kelly Allen. I'm the Education Director and owner of Cumbie and Trull School of Real Estate here in North Carolina. And today, I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process, the timeline, the real costs, and common mistakes to avoid as you investigate seeking a real estate license in North Carolina. Let's dive in and talk about the process. The process to getting a real estate license in North Carolina includes the following: taking and passing a 75-hour pre-licensing course, applying through the North Carolina Real Estate Commission for a broker license, which includes ordering a background check and paying a fee. Then your last step is to take and pass the state board exam. Once you take and pass the state board exam, your license is issued on provisional status and is inactive until you join forces and are supervised by a broker in charge. During this time, you're also required to take 3 additional courses called post-licensing. Post-licensing includes Post 301, 302, and 303. These classes may be taken in any order as long as they are completed within 18 months of initial licensure. After you complete your post-licensing, you become a broker. So what are the real costs involved? You do have to pay for a criminal background check when you are starting your application. The criminal background check varies in price depending on how many places you've lived, how many name changes you've had, so on and so forth. The next fee is the application fee, which is $100. And then there is the exam fee through the state board testing company called Pearson VUE. They charge around approximately $60 each time you sit for the state board exam. The great news about taking the state board exam is you can take that 1,000,000 times within a 3-year period until you pass the state side of the exam and the national side of the exam. However, since we're discussing real costs, every time you sit for the exam, you have to pay a new application fee plus the testing fee to the Pearson VUE testing company. So it will run you approximately $160 each time you sit for the state board exam. Once you pass your state board exam and your license is issued to you, you may choose to join a brokerage and be supervised by a broker in charge. A broker in charge is effectively a manager. Think of them as a manager of a brokerage. A brokerage is effectively a company, could be a firm, but it's a place where you're going to conduct real estate activities. When you join a brokerage, 9 times out of 10, the brokerage will expect you to join your local board of realtors. Each board of realtors has different fees associated with that board, and I suggest reaching out to the board of realtors closest to where you live to inquire what they charge. So next, in the process of obtaining a real estate license in North Carolina, you might be thinking, well, how long does it take to get through the licensing process and get my license? If you are taking classes with Cumbie and Trull School of Real Estate, you can complete your class, your 75-hour class, in about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the time of year. Then about 2 weeks until you are able to take your state boards through the company called Pearson VUE. So effectively, if you take your course through Cumbie and Trull, you could be licensed in a very short amount of time, just maybe 8 weeks. Now that we've covered the step-by-step process, we've covered the real costs associated with getting your license, we've covered the timeline. Now let's look at a few mistakes that I encourage you to avoid Number one is waiting for your life to open up and your schedule clears and you have all of the time in the world. You and I both know that that's very unlikely to happen. So the time is now. Jump in, let's go, let's get it started. You will find the time to get through this course. It's really just a short amount of time. The next mistake to avoid is choosing a school based solely on price. As the saying goes, you can get what you pay for. Our tuition is $465 and it can be broken up into a payment plan for 4 different installments. Our class is a live online via Zoom with a live instructor. I'm one of the instructors. And not only does it include your exam 1 proctoring fee, it also includes your ebook, which is chock full of goodies. Goodies like flashcards, quiz questions, games. There's an audiobook that's included. It goes on and on. There are instructional videos that you can watch in addition to your class videos. Plus, there are supplemental materials that are provided by our school specifically, Cumbie and Trull School of Real Estate. So you really get a lot of bang for your buck when you enroll in a pre-licensing class at Cumbie and Trull School of Real Estate. The last mistake I encourage everyone to avoid is really important. It's negative self-talk. Sometimes we tend to self-sabotage before we even dive in. We may interrupt an idea with a negative thought like, am I just too old? Am I not tech savvy enough? Ooh, can I really make money in real estate? There's another whole video about those common doubts that people have before diving into getting their real estate license in North Carolina. I can assure you that the most successful people in real estate are not necessarily young. They're not necessarily old. They're not necessarily tech savvy either. What is a personality profile of someone who's successful in real estate in North Carolina? Showing up, following a plan, being consistent, staying positive are all traits of a very successful real estate broker. So if any of this sounds like you might be thinking, what are my next steps now? Well, I encourage you to visit cumbieandtrull.com, check out our class schedule. There's even more information there. And if you're still in the just thinking about it phase, that's okay, because gathering information builds confidence. And I'm here to answer all of your questions as needed. You can drop those questions in the comments below. You could email me, kelly@cumbieandtrull.com, and know that all of us here at our school are dedicated to one thing and one thing only, and that is your success.